Welcome to part 2 of this series on where to sell your handmade ceramics. In last week's video, we walked through all the offline selling options available to ceramic artists like markets, consignments, studio sales, and custom orders. If you haven't watched that one yet, I recommend checking it out for a complete picture. Today, we are shifting gears and diving into the online world. We'll explore the different platforms and online selling channels you can use to share your work, from personal websites to online marketplaces to social media. As always, I'll break down the pros and cons of each of these options, share some insider tips, and help you think through what might work best for you and your creative business. We'll also talk about how to combine multiple channels in a way that feels sustainable so you can grow your business without burning out. Let's get started. Option 1, online shops. Whether you're dreaming of reaching global collectors or just want to stop replying DM me in your Instagram comments, an online presence can do wonders for your business. What are your options? There are a few main ways you can sell online. One is Etsy, one of the most popular online options for ceramic artists and makers. Etsy is the OG of handmade marketplaces. It is where many of us take our first steps into the world of online selling, and for good reason. If you don't know what's Etsy, it's a global marketplace that specializes in handmade, vintage, and crafty items. It's a ready-made platform where buyers are already looking specifically for handmade and unique things, which makes it a dream starting point for ceramic artists. Now, what are the pros of selling on Etsy? First is built-in audience. You don't have to lure people off the street into your digital space. Etsy already has millions of buyers searching for mugs, planters, bowls, and really specific things like, cat-shaped incense holders. Second is easy to set up. You don't need to know coding, SEO, or how to embed checkout cart into a website. Etsy handles all the techie stuff. You just need good photos, a description, and a price. Third is the trust factor. Buyers trust Etsy. They know the platform, they've used it before, and they know how it works. So if you are new, that trust extends to you, and that's a huge win. Fourth is searchability. Etsy has its own built-in search engine. If you use the right keywords and tags, you can show up in front of the exact people who are looking for what you make. No complicated algorithms to crack, at least not as many as social media. Fifth is low upfront cost. It's free to open a shop, and the listings are only, I think, 20 cents each. No monthly fees unless you upgrade to Etsy Plus. So it's a low risk entry point into selling online. What are the cons of selling on Etsy? First of all, you are one mug in a sea of mugs. Competition is fierce. You may be one of the 2,000 sellers offering handmade speckled mugs, and while your work is unique, it can be a bit hard to stand out without strong branding, great photos, and some smart marketing on your part. Secondly, you don't own the platform, and this is big. Etsy owns the space, not you. That means they control the rules, the fees, the search algorithm, even your customers. One policy change or fee hike, and suddenly your margins shrink or your shop traffic tanks. Third is design limitations. Your shop layout and branding are pretty cookie cutter. It's not easy to make your Etsy shop, look like your brand beyond your logo and banner. If you want full creative control, Etsy won't give you that. Fourth is Etsy controls visibility. Even though they have search tools, your visibility still depends on Etsy's algorithm, which can be a bit moody and mysterious. Some days you're on top of the search results, other days you're on page 25. Another thing is, if you're based in the US, UK, Canada, or other Etsy supported regions, shipping is pretty straightforward. Etsy offers built in shipping tools that make the whole process much easier. But if you're not, like me, things can get a bit trickier. Without those integrated options, you're often left manually checking shipping rates, coordinating with buyers, and going back and forth just to confirm costs. It's definitely doable, but it adds an extra layer of effort and costs to the process. Now, is Etsy right for you? It is a great option if you're just getting started and want to test the waters without building a whole website. When you're at the beginning of your selling journey, setting up a full-blown website can feel overwhelming, especially if you're still figuring out your product line, photography, pricing, or packaging. Etsy provides a low barrier entry point. You can create a shop quickly, upload a few listings, and start getting your work in front of potential buyers within a day. It's ideal for early experimentation and learning what sells. Secondly, you'd like access to a large audience that's already looking for handmade work. One of Etsy's biggest advantage is its built-in audience. Millions of people visit the platform each month specifically to shop for handmade, unique, and creative products. You don't need to worry about generating traffic to your own site from day one. On Etsy, shoppers are already there actively searching. If your listings are optimized with the right titles, tags, descriptions, your work can get discovered organically, though it's not as easy at this point given the amount of competition it has. Third is you're okay paying some fees in exchange for simplicity and traffic. Etsy charges listing fees, transaction fees, payment processing fees. Over time, these can add up. But in return, you're paying for access to a marketplace with high buyer intent, built-in trust, and marketing tools like Etsy ads. For many new sellers, this trade-off is worthwhile in the early stages. You don't have to worry about web hosting, security, or design. Etsy handles the tech so you can focus on making and selling. Fourth is you want a straightforward, beginner friendly selling platform while you develop your brand. If you're still figuring out your visual identity, messaging, or long term business strategy, Etsy gives you a place to start selling right away without needing a fully fleshed out brand. As you gain experience and customer feedback, you can refine your product offerings, improve your presentation, all while making real sales. Later, if you decide to transition to your own website, you'll already have momentum and insight to build from. A quick tip here: many successful makers start on Etsy and eventually add their own website later. It doesn't have to be either or. Etsy can be a launchpad, not your forever home. Second option is your own website. This is your own virtual storefront, the online equivalent of opening a beautifully branded shop. It says, yep, I'm a real business, I've got a logo, cohesive brand colors, and I actually know what I'm doing most days. You build and manage your own online store. There are no middlemen, no third party platforms, just you, your ceramics, and a clean, well lit digital space that represents your brand exactly how you want. There are platforms like Shopify, Squarespace, Wix, and a whole lot of other options where you can set up your own website. Now, what are the pros of selling through your own website? First of all, it's total creative control. You want a banner with animated flowers, a font that feels like a handwritten love note, a homepage that tells your brand story with moody photos, go for it. You get to design every element to reflect you. It's your digital studio, gallery, and a checkout counter all rolled into one. Secondly, you own the platform and the customer. This one is big. Unlike Etsy or social media, your website belongs to you. No algorithm changes, no surprise fees, no being buried under 27 pages of speckled mugs. You are in control of how people experience your shop. Third is it builds brand credibility. Having your own website instantly levels up how people perceive your brand. It's not just about aesthetics or functionality, it's about trust. When someone lands on your site, it tells them that, yeah, this person has their life together. They're not just winging it on Instagram. It shows that you've invested in your business, that you've taken the time to create a thoughtful space where customers can browse, learn about your process, and shop with confidence. A website gives your business legitimacy. Even if you're still figuring out things behind the scenes, and let's be honest, most of us are, to your audience, it signals professionalism, stability, and intention. Fourth is better profit margins. No Etsy fees eating into your sales. You pay for the website, which is a monthly subscription, maybe a few apps, but once set up, every sale puts more in your pocket, especially if you sell higher value work. Fifth is the integrated tools. Most platforms let you connect email marketing, SEO, blogs, analytics, inventory, and even digital courses and products. So it's all in one place. Now, there are, of course, some cons of selling through your own website. First of all, is you have to drive your own traffic. And this is the biggest difference from Etsy. No one's casually browsing your site unless you send them there. That means you have to keep posting on socials, you have to send newsletters, or improving your visibility through SEO, running ads if you have the budget for it. Second is the learning curve and tech setup. There will be Googling, lots of it. How to set up shipping zones, how to reduce image size, why does your checkout button turn purple after you've changed the font? Even with user friendly platforms like Shopify, it takes time to get a hang of it. Having said that, it is doable. I set up my own website without any external help. It takes a bit of time, bit of learning, but it's so worth it. Third is the upfront cost. While not bank breaking, building your own website does come with a few costs. First is the hosting fee, which can be from $10 to $40 a month, depending on the platform and features. There is a custom domain which you have to get, which is again $10 or $20 per year. Another cost is the optional extras like some apps or templates or premium fonts if you want. These are more optional. The fourth thing is that the customer trust takes time. Unlike Etsy, your site doesn't come preloaded with buyer trust. You'll need to add social proof, some kind of testimonials, reviews, photos, write out clear policies, though there are templates available for all of these, so they're not too much work. But you also have to offer a smoother, user experience. Once you do though, customers will remember you for you, not just the platform. They'll remember they bought from you and not from Etsy. Now, is your own website right for you? Now, this route is ideal if one, you want full control of your brand and customer experience. Having your own website means you decide exactly how your work is presented, from the tone of your product descriptions to the layout of your shop. You can create a seamless and thoughtful experience that reflects your brand values, aesthetics, and personality. From branding and packaging to checkout and follow up emails, everything can be aligned with the experience you want your customer to have. Secondly, you're ready to scale and grow intentionally. If you're thinking beyond one time sales, like building a collector base, launching collections, running email campaigns, or offering digital products, your own site gives you the flexibility to do that. It allows for long term planning, automated systems, marketing tools that can grow with your business. Third is if you're in this for the long game. If pottery isn't just a hobby but something you're building into a sustainable long term business, investing in your own website is a smart step. It gives you a stable home base that doesn't depend on the algorithms or rules of third party platforms. It's where your audience can always find you, regardless of social media changes or marketplace trends. Fourth is you don't mind doing or learning the techie stuff or can outsource it. Running your own website does come with a learning curve, things like setting up payment gateways, managing shipping zones, understanding analytics, or troubleshooting design issues in some cases. If you're comfortable figuring these out or hiring someone to do it, the long term payoff is worth it. You don't need to know everything upfront, but have the willingness to learn or outsource when needed makes the process a lot more easier. Now, a quick tip here, you don't have to start here. Many potters begin with Etsy or Instagram DMs, then move on to a personal website once they've built a bit of following and feel ready to take ownership of their brand. Second online option is social media platforms. This includes Instagram shops, Facebook Marketplace, TikTok shop. Selling directly through platforms like Instagram Shop and Facebook Marketplace has become increasingly popular and for good reason. It's kind of like setting up a pop up shop in a place where your followers are already hanging out. Watching your stories, liking your studio selfies, and saving your pottery reels for inspiration. Except now, they can buy your work right then and there. This one is a biggie for artists and makers. With Instagram Shop, you can tag products directly in your posts and reels. You can create a clickable storefront on your profile. You can let followers browse and buy without ever leaving the app. Basically, your beautiful work gets to live where your audience is already scrolling, which is, prime real estate. Now, what are the pros? First is easy discovery. People find your work through posts, stories, or reels and can buy instantly without any extra clicks. Second is the visual appeal. Instagram is made for visuals. Your feed becomes both a gallery and a shop. Third is encourages impulse buys. Behind the scene content and product videos often lead to quick emotional purchases. The fourth one is community building. Direct interaction through comments and DMs builds trust and loyal customers who connect with you, not just your products. Now, there are, of course, a few cons here. First of all, the setup can be tricky. You'll need a linked Facebook catalog, a business account, product listings, all of that to get started with Instagram shops. Second is the algorithm dependency. Your visibility and therefore sales depend heavily on the ever changing algorithm gods. Miss a few posting days and poof, your reach goes down. Third is fees. Instagram shops charges transaction fees, which is currently at about 5%, I think. Not outrageous, but still something to factor into your pricing. Another option is the Facebook Marketplace. Now, this one's a little bit more casual, a little bit like, Craigslist. It's great for local sales, testing new product ideas, offloading extra stock without the pressure of a formal shop launch. You post a listing, people message you, and you coordinate payment and pickup or delivery. It's simple. What are the pros? First of all, it's easy to use. No website, no techie setup, just take a photo, write a description, and you're live. Secondly, local reach. You can target buyers nearby. Great for studio pickups, avoiding shipping headaches, or building a local collector base. Third is no listing fees. Facebook Marketplace is free to list. You keep more of what you earn, especially on lower priced items. What are the cons? First of all is limited branding. Facebook Marketplace doesn't exactly scream artisanal. It is a bit more flea market than fine gallery. It is great for quick sales, not so much for building long term brand identity. Second is the time consuming messages. Is this still available? That's a message that will keep haunting you throughout the day. And 40% of the people will ghost you after the first reply. So it is kind of time consuming with all the messaging. Third is less trust for higher price items. If you're selling one of a kind, high value work, buyers might hesitate because marketplace is also where people sell, used sofas and broken air fryers. Fourth is there are no e-commerce tools, there's no analytics, no automated shipping labels, no email capture. It's very much DIY. Now, is selling on social right for you? Selling directly through social media platforms like Instagram or Facebook can be a great starting point, especially if you're not quite ready to build a full website or invest in a marketplace like Etsy. This option works particularly well if, first of all, you already have an active Instagram presence. Secondly, you want a low barrier way to start selling. Thirdly, you enjoy engaging with your community. And fourth, you're okay with experimenting to see what clicks. If you're comfortable showing up consistently and being a bit scrappy in the beginning, it can be a great stepping stone to something bigger. A quick tip here: social selling often works best in combination with other platforms. Use Instagram to engage, build your brand, and drive traffic. Then direct buyers to your website or Etsy for a smooth checkout experience. You can absolutely make sales directly through DMs too, especially when your work is in demand. Just be prepared to manually manage orders and invoices until you're ready for a more streamlined setup. Now, in general, selling online is a great fit for you if you prefer the flexibility and want to work from your studio in your pajamas. Secondly, you're comfortable or at least willing to learn how to use the cameras, some basic web tools, and maybe wrangle a spreadsheet or two. Thirdly, you're playing the long game and want to build something sustainable that lives online even when you're offline. And here's the beautiful thing about selling online: it grows with you. Maybe you start on Etsy and one day launch your own website. Maybe you try Instagram Shop and find that you love interacting buyers in real time. You get to mix and match what works for you. Now, what are the factors that help you decide where to sell? Choosing your sales channel isn't just about where the money is, it's also about what aligns with your life, your work style, and your goals. Now, here are a few questions you can ask yourself. Firstly, what stage of your pottery journey are you in? If you're just starting out, markets and consignments can be a great place for beginners. Why? Because they give you quick feedback, you don't need a tech degree to get started, and you can test waters without overwhelming yourself. But if you've been at it for a while, you're making consistently, maybe you've already got some customers, then it might be time to think bigger. An online shop, a wholesale line, or even custom collaboration. Start where you are. Grow as you go. And remember, you do not have to be everywhere at once. That's how burnout starts, and you don't want that. Second deciding factor is how much time can you actually commit to selling. Markets, that's your whole weekend, plus the setup time, plus the preparation that is required. Online shops, they're open 24/7, but someone has to do the photography, upload the listings, pack the orders, and reply to odd questions like, is this dishwasher safe or is it really handmade? Things like that. Consignment, it's more hands off. You deliver the stock and the store handles the rest. But that also means they decide how your work is presented. So ask yourself, what's realistic for your schedule? Not just for making, but for managing sales, communication, and the occasional, shipping hiccups. Third factor is how comfortable you are with tech and marketing. If the word Shopify makes you break into cold sweat, Etsy might be your friend. It's a plug and play with built in traffic. Prefer zero screen time? Markets and studio sales let your work speak for itself in 3D. But if you secretly love a good flat lay photo, enjoy telling stories, or live for behind the scenes of your process, then online selling, especially via Instagram and your own website, can be a perfect fit. You don't have to be a tech wizard, you just have to find a rhythm that makes marketing feel creative, not just a second job you didn't apply for. And the fourth factor is, do you actually enjoy interacting with people? Let's be honest, not all of us are cut out for full day conversations with strangers while smiling in the sun and guarding your wares from small children with sticky fingers. Some potters thrive in that environment. They love meeting customers, sharing stories, seeing people light up when they hold a cup. Others, not so much. If you're more introverted, that's okay. Online sales and consignment can give you space while getting your work out there. Or you could host quiet studio open days by appointment, your vibe, your rules. There's no wrong answer here, just what works best for you. The fifth factor to consider is what's your pricing and production capacity. Now, let's talk about logistics for a second. If you make small, slow, intentional batches, you'll probably want to sell directly at retail prices or do custom orders where the time invested matches the price. If you're able to make work in larger batches, wholesale might be your jam. Yes, the per piece price is lower, but the volume and consistency can really add up. Online shops require restocking, so ask yourself, can I keep up with that? Can I handle a sudden burst of orders when my reels go viral? They all dream, right? This is about setting yourself up to succeed without working yourself into exhaustion. Sixth factor to consider is, do you want to build a brand or just sell casually? This one's big. If your pottery is a side hustle or you're just testing waters, seasonal markets, pop ups, events, or a few drops on Instagram might be plenty. But if your long term goal is to build a sustainable creative business, you'll want more control on how you show up, who you reach, how you grow. That means investing in a branded website, building an email list, maybe even developing collaborations or teaching workshops. It's a bigger commitment, but also offers bigger long term payoff. And no, it doesn't happen overnight. Think about your next 3 to 6 months. What kind of business are you trying to build? Let that vision guide your decisions. Combining multiple sales channels smartly. Alright, so we've walked through all the major places you can sell your work: markets, online, boutiques, custom orders. It's a lot. But here's the good news, you don't have to pick just one. In fact, many successful potters eventually build what I like to call a multi channel ecosystem. Fancy word for a mix that actually works for you. Here's what that might look like in real life. You sell at 3 to 4 markets here, just enough to meet your community, get some in person feedback, and have fun without burning out. You keep a simple online shop with seasonal or limited edition drops so you're not constantly trying to restock. You stock with 1 or 2 curated boutiques, especially if they align with your brand and values, and you take on occasional commission, maybe only for repeat clients and when the project really excites you. This approach gives you variety without chaos. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket, but you're also not running around like a headless chicken trying to be everywhere at once. The trick is to be intentional. Start with one channel, one that fits your life, personality, and goals best right now. Get comfortable there, build systems, learn what works, and only then layer on another. Because here's the thing, more channels don't always mean more income. Sometimes that just means more stress, and you didn't start your pottery journey to create cures, you started it to create art. Remember, your business doesn't have to look like anyone else's, it has to work for you. Let's wrap this up with a little reminder that might just take the pressure off. There is no single right way to sell your work. The best sales channel isn't the one that's trending or the one that your favorite potter is using. It's a one that aligns with your creative flow, your lifestyle, and the kind of business you actually want to build. The journey is deeply personal. Some potters thrive at weekend markets, chatting with customers and soaking in the energy. Others feel more at home, quietly packing orders from their online shop, connecting with people through photos and stories. And some enjoy a mix, changing things up with seasons or as their life evolves. So here's what I'd suggest. First, start small. You don't need to be everywhere all at once. Pick one channel that feels accessible and manageable. Second, stay curious. Treat everything like an experiment. What feels good? What's working? What isn't? Third, allow yourself to pivot. What served you last year might not suit you right now, and that's okay. You're allowed to grow, evolve, and shift direction. Whether it's a pop up stall at a market or a cozy open studio weekend, a neatly curated online shop, or just sharing your work through DM, there's a space for your art in the world. Your job isn't to fit into someone else's model. Your job is to listen to what feels true to you, trust your instincts, and share your creativity in a way that supports your joy, your energy, and your life. Got questions or been there, done that stories? Drop them in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe send this to your pottery bestie who's also stuck between Shopify and Saturday markets. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.